Nick Walker is pulling out the Olympia again, and I find like two years in a row. I think that he had to pull out because he had the injury in the hamstring, and now he's pulling out. And I watched the whole video, and the reason why I'm doing this video is just because I want to see what you guys think. And I was really surprised when I learned the news about that, but I was a little bit confused with what Matt was saying because he said that he used to thrive on chaos and things like that, and that's how he was good. He thrived in the chaos. But I usually when you're stressed, your body is not that good. But now he's saying that because he's like in a good mental health place, everything is good, relationships are good. Now it's like it's not working anymore. So I'm just confused. I want to hear what you guys in the comments are going to talk about that. But he did mention that his body was not responding, and then there's a lot of hate online. Once again, bunch of haters. But the thing is, like, I'm sure the reason that Nick decided not to do it is a good reason for him. Because I've seen in the comments some people say that he's afraid and things like that. But I don't think that Nick is afraid of a competition. That can't be the reason why he would not do it. Because I know Nick personally, and Nick believes he's going to beat everyone someday, and I still think there's a possibility that he could do that. It's just now that 2 years in a row is not doing it, and then there's Andrew Jack, much improved, Samson, much improved, and Derek is now the champion, and Hadi's going hard to bring the best package he can to beat Derek again. So that's crazy because that will leave room in the top five for somebody to just sneak in. Like I'm sure, like everyone's happy in the top six that Nick is not competing anymore, but that's very very unfortunate. And I hope that he comes back for maybe the Arnold because the Arnold now has like some good money to say the least. I don't know if the Olympia tried to match the money yet or not, but I think the Arnold had more money this year than the Olympia last year. So I'm really curious what they're going to do with that. But we have to think that let's say if there's $1 million in prize money, that's a fictional number in the Arnold. Well, the Arnold didn't have all the classes, right? So all the winners get more money than the Olympia at the same amount of total prize money of $1 million. Hypothet- hypothetically. So we got to keep that in mind. But my guess, I'm gonna name all the options why he would have pulled out, and those are just guesses. And if you want to watch a video of him and Matt talking about it, it's on Matt Jensen's and Nick Walker's Instagram, and it's pretty sad because Nick is very emotional. Obviously, from an outside perspective, you're like, why is he crying? Because it's just bodybuilding, you're posing in your trunks. But whatever you do, like if you're even a ping pong athlete and you're gunning for the top spot in the ping pong world, and you're training every day, you're putting all your efforts, you're obsessing over all the little details, you're tired, but you keep drilling your ping pong moves, and then you have to pull out because your wrist is fucked up from doing too many reversed things. Well, you're gonna get emotional. Like it's like when I got injured myself, my first bicep tear, the 2 weeks out from the New York Pro, and honestly, my best shape that I had my whole life, I believe that I felt the best was before my first bicep tear. I was better on paper after, but the way I looked, I liked it the best back then. But this video isn't about me. I'm doing the thing that a lot of people do, just turn around on me. So I'm not gonna do that. So why I think maybe he pulled out? Maybe he got pushed too hard too early, and maybe that worked for Nick when he was younger. But I think now he's 31. maybe that doesn't work anymore. Because my friend Quentin, who was coached by Matt Jensen, Matt Jensen's blew him up in the offseason. And that's something Matt, as a coach, is like puts him ahead of a lot of coaches is the offseason gains. I don't know what they do, but Justin Shire's transformation, Quinton's transformation in the offseason, and a lot of guys, even Tommy is gunning for his pro card. He's from Florida. I just met him. They all make crazy improvements in the offseason. And they push super hard. Matt has talent. He has he has a skill of like motivating his clients, I think. Because at the end of the day, you're just eating meals, right? Eating meals and training and taking the right supplements. They all do that. But I think Matt has a really special skill in making his athletes super motivated and train and eat with more discipline than any other before. Because you see sometimes when they go from like a coach and then Matt takes them on, somehow they all gain a lot of muscle quickly. But maybe if you do that the first 2 years, at your peak, it's really good. You improve really quickly, then you prep hard, and then you are in the best shape of your life. But if you keep pushing that hard, maybe for too long, maybe the body does get tired, and then it doesn't respond. Maybe not as well, but in the same way as before. It's like the body is kind of like maxed out, so you gotta kind of pull back a little bit on some stuff. I don't know what that stuff is, and then just be very strategic where and when to push and where to push. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe the body's not responding the same way, not as well, but not the same way as before. So maybe now they're going to have to just change some things. And part of that change is pulling out of this contest. Because if it was a normal contest, oh whatever, right? And if it was somebody else, like if I'm saying like, oh, I'm gonna compete in Toronto Pro next year, and then a couple of weeks before I saw I can't do the show, people wouldn't really care. It's not the Olympia. I'm not Nick Walker. So now it's a big deal because Nick Walker could win the Olympia. It's the second year this happens. They can't do it. Devastating news. So people talk about it. I'm talking about it right now. I'm doing a video on it right now. So maybe his body is not responding as well. They didn't mention anything about health. But another reason people could pull out is like if there's some markers or like, you know what, we could push it. We could make the show have a great showing, but it's not a good idea to do so. Because let's say if you do blood work um, before your prep and then you don't do any blood work, then you feel weird, you do blood work 2 weeks out and shit is like wrong. Well, it's a good idea to stop doing that. Because in our sport, like it's pretty easy. Like if you watch boxing or NFL or UFC, people get hit in the head and then they have really a lot of brain damage like that. You can see the damage being done with your eyes physically when the body collides, the bodies collide. But with bodybuilding, you don't see the damage to the body being done, not visually. You have to like do blood work, and this is where you see it. You will see injuries when muscle tear off the bone. Obviously, that's simple. But there's a lot of things that you don't see on camera, and maybe there's some things you didn't want to share. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's probably like what they said on the video, where it's just the body's not responding anymore. So you think that the body's not responding anymore, or maybe it's a health thing. Maybe the health thing is causing the body not to respond anymore. But I think at 31, you're still young and healthy. Um, Nick is probably it's fine. Maybe it's a cortisol thing. Maybe it's some hormones that are, from too much work or something. Maybe another reason, maybe Nick or somebody would pull out of a show is maybe which I don't think Nick would do that, but they don't work they don't have the same hunger as before. So even though they think they're going 100%, maybe they're not. Maybe their 100% is 80% of their old 100%. But like I said, I think that's not what Nick's doing, because Nick will always go 100% and work super hard. Because what happens when he has awesome genetics to be super buff and have a crazy muscle mass, but like structurally with the shape and stuff, there's guys like Andrew Jack and Samson have a better flowing physique. So what that creates with somebody with Nick's mindset is they will work harder than all the other guys with better shapes and then beat 90% of them, 99% of them. So I don't think hard work is a reason why. Obviously, that didn't work as hard. That's why he pulled out. He's not as motivated. I don't think that's the reason. Because if he was not as motivated, then he would just quit halfway or something, not wait until the end. So something happened, and I don't know what happened. Another reason would be like, I don't know. Let's say you think you're taking whey protein, and you're actually taking a fucking some sugar powder. Then it's like maybe the body will not respond because you're not taking what you think you're taking. So that's another option, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, wink. But I don't know about that either. We don't know. So I'm wondering what you guys think in the comments. Like, what's the reason why Nick would have pulled out? Is it um, the body's not responding because he's been pushed hard for too long? Something happened, health wise that he didn't mention that could have, made him pull out, or he's not as motivated as before, or maybe he's taking stuff that's like wasn't like well, you know what I mean, right? So I don't know what it is. I personally think my guess would be he got pushed too hard for too long. The way Matt pushed him maybe worked at first, but now it doesn't work anymore, and now they have to adapt because I think the first few preps you do when you're young, you can do the same thing every prep and it's going to work. But there's a time and space that your body kind of like becomes older, and then what you did before won't work anymore. So that's my guess of what happened. So I want to know, what do you guys think happened? And we don't need to be too negative here, right? Because honestly, it's just a man that decided to pull out of a show to do another one later when he's ready, about bodybuilding, the sport we love. But it's not that big of a deal from the outside eye, in the grand scheme of things. It sucks for Nick the most, trust me. So my thoughts are with Nick. It sucks. And I don't know if Nick, you're going to watch this. I didn't text you. Didn't want to bother you with this. You're probably getting a lot of messages right now, but whatever you decide, I support you. Whatever the reason is, I know it has to be a good reason. So thanks for watching, and comment below. What do you think happened?